Hi, I'm Joe Polizzi, and this is the Content Inc. podcast. 5 minutes every Monday for content creators who desire to be content entrepreneurs. I have a question to ask you. Are you an expert in your field? Now, whether you already have content prepared or you're starting from scratch, getting your expertise into a printed book with Lulu has never been easier and more profitable. Plus, you know where it leads, right? More speaking gigs, consulting gigs, and everything you dreamed of. Now, take my word for it on that. Lulu's e-commerce plugins make it easy for you to publish your book and sell it directly from your own site while they handle all the printing and shipping on the back end. You keep 100% creative control, 100% of your customer data, and 100% of your profits. Create a free account today at lulu.com to get started. Hey gang, have very exciting news. Brian Piper and I just finished the full manuscript for Epic Content Marketing 2nd edition. It's on its way to the printer, so things are looking really, really good. And Brian and I are actually in the process of recording the audio book, and it probably sounds easier than it actually is. In total, it's going to be about, I think, 9 hours, maybe 10. And Brian and I are divvying up the chapters. And then once we get that done, we send it off to our producer that makes sure, take out all the ums and all the mistakes and things like that. Make sure the sound is perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and upload that to Audible, which, depending on their delays, maybe we'll make it by the time this thing launches on March 7th. But Epic Content Marketing is available for pre-purchase right now. I hope you go out and get it. Just type in Epic Content Marketing 2nd edition into Google. It'll come right up. We really appreciate the support. The more pre-buys that we get, it really helps our rankings, and then Amazon promotes it more, and it's just kind of a snowball effect, and things really work. But what I thought I'd do for this episode of Content Inc. is share with you a chapter. This chapter is 17. It's chapter 17 in its entirety, talking about the different elements of the content plan, and I really thought this was a good one to be helpful. First of all, most of the chapters are honestly like 20 or 30 minutes each. This one's only about 7 minutes, so it stays within our Content Inc. time. So I hope you really, really enjoy this one and get something out of it. Here it is, Epic Content Marketing, Chapter 17. The Content Channel Plan in Action by Joe Polizzi. If one is lucky, a solitary fantasy can totally transform 1 million realities. Maya Angelou. Now that content marketing has been explained, the content niche and strategy have been delineated, and the specifics of content management and process have been worked out, it's time to examine content distribution. Many content businesses start with channels, for example, Twitter and Instagram, instead of first focusing on what goes into those channels. If you start with channels, there's little possibility you'll be able to measure true impact without first developing a content strategy. I've seen several channel plans, and almost all of them are confusing. For this part of the audiobook, I want to make sure you have a visual idea of how to develop and execute a content marketing plan. All the ingredients are in front of you: your goals, your niche, your audience, content types, and the assets you have. Now you need to mix these together to make something worth your customers' time. Again, depending on how many personas and content strategies you actually have, you'll need more than one content plan. But let's start with one. To put a content plan in action, you need to bring back the following components: the channel, the persona, the content goal, the primary content type, the structure, the tone, channel integration, the desired action, and the editorial plan. The channel. This is not the content type, but the core channel on which you're focusing for a content initiative. For this example, let's use a blog. The persona. What audience are you targeting from your initial persona development? This is important because some channels are good for targeting certain personas and others are not. For example, our newsletter is the channel where we target active content entrepreneurs who are in the process of building their content businesses. Our blog is the channel we use to target content creators who may not have launched their own content business yet or are creating content as a side hustle. The content goal. This is the point where you want to be clear about what your goals are for the content project. For example, after one of my speeches, I talked with a senior level marketer for a leading gas station chain. They said that the company had thousands of fans on Facebook and wanted to know how they could use content to get more fans. I simply asked, "What is the purpose of you being on Facebook?" They didn't have an answer for that. For each channel you use, be specific about your purpose. For the Tilt, even though we accomplish many objectives through our blog, such as brand awareness and customer retention, our main goal is to convince casual content creators that they can build a full-time, very successful content business by following our roadmap. Simply ask, what does the audience need to get out of this piece of content? The primary content type. With a blog, the primary content type can be textual stories, videos, infographics, or a combination of those. At the Tilt, our primary content type is textual stories with a graphic image. We also do regular original research and feature content entrepreneurs and case studies. The structure. The structure includes how the content type is built. Most companies use 1,000 words as a good, solid range for a blog post length. Multiple headings should be used to capture attention, and if possible, use bulleted and numbered lists since they work well for web readers. In addition, multiple images should be used, and links should be scattered throughout to attribute sources. These same structure recommendations are needed for other content types. If you're not sure where to start, use industry best practices. Videos for YouTube should be 7 to 15 minutes. The longer form is getting more traction here. TikTok should be 9 to 20 seconds, and podcasts should be 30 to 40 minutes depending on your show format. Obviously, these numbers will change based on your audience and niche, but if you don't have standards, you won't be able to make changes and measure the impact. The tone. What's the tone of your channel's content? Is it playful? Is it serious? Is it sarcastic? When Sam Parr launched the Hustle newsletter, he knew that he wanted to deliver news to millennials and get straight to the point. The personal tone in the newsletter makes it feel like you're getting an email from a close friend. Some other examples of tone include humorous tone used by brands like Old Spice or Geico in their ads, the empowering tone of Dove, or the strong and aggressive tone of Harley Davidson. Channel integration. Do you have an integration plan with other channels? If you use video, do you integrate that with YouTube by embedding the video into your blog? If you're promoting an ebook, do you leverage SlideShare as an embedded document? For additional promotion, how are you using Instagram, Twitter, and other channels? Hootsuite does an incredible job of leveraging its content across every possible platform. Hootsuite starts with its blog posts and then uses them to create Twitter threads, YouTube videos, social videos, Instagram stories, and on and on. Then it takes the new assets it created and adds those back to the original blog article so it contains the YouTube video, a prepackaged tweet that users can share, and other elements. The desired action. With as many channels as you already have working, and as your content marketing will inevitably overlap into your channels, metrics are what you want to track at this point. I use the term metrics here very specifically, as opposed to key performance indicators or results. In this case, metrics are goals that will align with the stories you're telling. For the Tilt, we have very specific goals about subscription rates. Currently, our subscription goal is 500 net subscribers per month. The editorial plan. Remember the content marketing mission statement back in Chapter 11. We want to keep this top of mind as we develop compelling stories through the multitude of content types. Leverage your editorial calendar to make sure that the story creation process you're employing is consistently delivered to your audience persona. So there you have it, the content plan in action. Keep in mind that you can create multiple channels. You're allowed to have more than one blog or multiple Instagram pages, and you don't have to launch them at the same time. For example, you may find that 2 different types of blogs are more appropriate than just one. Or you may want a separate podcast feed for an additional podcast series. There's no one right way to do things, so experiment, get feedback, and continue to evolve your content plan. The content strategy defines the channel strategy, not the other way around. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little taste of what's to come for Epic Content Marketing. Really proud of what Brian and I put together with that one. I think you're going to get a lot out of it. It's really for a company of any size, whether you're a content entrepreneur of one or whether you're a content marketing professional inside a larger company. Final reminder, folks, I know I got a lot of stuff going on, but Creator Economy Expo Super Early Bird is ending this Friday, the 27th of January. So make sure you go ahead, and I want to see you in Cleveland, May 1st to 3rd. This is the best lineup we've ever put together. I am so excited about this. Use code JOEVIP, JOEVIP, to get an extra $100 off the price. That'll bring it down to $595 for the regular conference pass. It is so worth it. I want to see you there. Looking forward to seeing you in Cleveland for Creator Economy Expo May 1st to 3rd. Talk to you next week. Thanks.